Hey guys, Denise here, and if you're looking for a nice simple way to get yourself warmed up before you start a simple jog or a walk in the morning or anytime, I'm gonna give you 5 simple stretches that you can do. So stay tuned. Okay guys, so stretch number 1. Now, when we think about walking or even going for a light jog, I want you to think about these being your dominant muscle groups and joints that you want to focus on to get kind of primed up and warm before you head out to do your walk. I want to start first with the first stretch being focusing on the ankle and the calves. So for me, what I like to do is just take one foot at a time and just try to bend so that you have the bend happening in the big toe itself. I do it from the side. So once you have that bend taking place on your big toe, try putting it to the back a little bit and do the bend and come down and make sure that this leg is moving. Now, the reasoning for this is that one of the things we don't do or is not understood in terms of how we're supposed to walk is that our big toe plays a very big part in us actually moving, pushing off from one to the next, and each time we take a stride. So make sure and get that big toe going in terms of just getting some bends in. Make sure that you can feel it being flexed in the shoes that you have. You can do this for about 8 to 10 times. Just try moving it around so you feel the toe bending in the shoe. If you don't have shoes on, even better. This is going to be your stretch number 1. Right, so we continuing to work on the ankle and foot. This is going to be a second stretch. What you want to do here, guys, is you want to get the ankles and that joint that holds that tip fit going into the ankles. You want to be able to make sure that the foot is getting prepared for movement. So just try moving up and down and pushing off, up and down like that. So what you're doing is getting the ankle ready to move, because I mean, when you think about it, we walk and we push off and we move, right? I'll show you a side view. So from here, what we're going to be doing, just pushing up. So we get into that plantar flexion and a dorsiflexion. We get in that movement and we're getting ourselves that ankle ready to start walking and maybe a little light jog. This is going to be a stretch number 2, and you want to, if you can do this maybe about 10 to 15 times, push up and make sure that when you get on your heels, try lifting the feet up to get the plantar flexion and the dorsiflexion. Get that stretch in that ankle. Alright, let's go to number 3. Okay, so the third one, we're going to call the calf stretch on the bell. Well, not directly kettlebell, but the bell of the kettlebell. So how this works is like this. We're going to be focusing on the stretch on now the gastroc and the soleus, which we know as being the calf muscle. Now, in order to stretch the gastroc muscle, you need to keep the knee in an extended position. In order to stretch the soleus, we need to bend the knee, we need to flex the knee. So a great way to do that, and a great way to get a nice stretch on those muscles before you go walking, is using a kettlebell. Or if you don't have a kettlebell, you can use the edge of a step, or if you have a dumbbell or anything that you can place your foot on, that you'll be able to do what I'm going to show you now. So place the kettlebell flat on the ground, and from here what you'll be doing is trying to get the ball of your foot onto the kettlebell, the bell of the kettlebell. Push it around. Once I have this ball of my foot here, I'm using my other foot to slowly just push forward, just kind of shove forward till I am getting a nice stretch on that gastrocnemius muscle. So this is what it looks like. I'm just going to kind of hobble up. So right now I'm feeling a nice stretch, and I could stay here, and I'm going to hold this stretch for at least 20 to 30 seconds. If you've never done this before, try anywhere from 15 to 20 seconds to hold. This stretch would be stretching the gastrocnemius muscle. Now, in order for me to get the soleus, I have to bend the knee. So I'll be bending the knee, come back a little bit, let's start from the beginning. And I'm going to come a little bit, and you're not going to go into the stretch as you did before. Maybe about 75% coming forward. When you come forward, at this point, you just want to bend the knee. And in bending the knee, you should feel a nice stretch in the soleus and also that Achilles tendon muscle that is attached to the heel of the foot, which is great for stretching before you go out and walk. You can also do this with the same numbers of reps as with the gastrocnemius when we do it with the first stretch with the knee extended. Both of them is great on each side. This will be the soleus. I'm going to hold for 10 to 15 seconds. If I'm new, if I want to go up and I'm getting accustomed to it, you can carry up the amount of time you're holding here and yeah, enjoy the stretch. Don't forget to breathe. Alright, let's go on to number 4. Okay, so number 4, we're going to start getting some movement now in the hips. And as I said, we're focusing on the lower extremity here. And we also want to make sure that we don't neglect the top, because we don't walk with our legs alone, right? We walk with the upper and lower body moving, nice contralateral movement. So we need to make sure that the hips are, not rusty or stiff. And one way to do that is we're going to do some, if you ever seen this before, people have all sorts of names for it. It's just leg swings. You can hold the wall, make sure that you're not bending over too much, but try and have a nice neutral stance. And from there, you want to make sure that the leg that you're swinging, once you're swinging it, the leg that's standing, that you're making sure and hold by giving a nice squeeze to the glutes. That will help you keep the body from rocking every time as much as if you didn't. Also, remember to take a nice breath out and brace that core so that when you're doing your leg swings, you are not just everything moving all together like that. From here, right, nice, and the higher you could go, the better. You should also be feeling a nice stretch in the hamstrings, and also when you're putting the leg back, you're trying to help with here, this tightness that you feel in the hip flexors, you're trying to actively stretch that with this one. You'll also be doing it in the other way too, which would be to hold onto this wall. So from here, same thing applies, we'll be going this way. Right? We want to get it for the adductors as well. All those muscles is what's going to have the hip moving and being able to keep it steady while we walk. So it's good to get them primed. And we'll be doing these leg swings. I like to start beginners at maybe 15 reps on each side and each position. If you want to go more, maybe 20 reps would be fine. And let's go on to the last stretch before you go walking, number 5. Okay, so number 5. Remember I was telling you before that we don't walk with our hips alone. Our upper body needs to move in tandem when we walk, right? This is how it goes. I'm just exaggerating. But what I'm trying to tell you is that the upper body needs to also have a little stretch in it to get that movement, that natural movement that we have going again. So what you'll be doing for this and final exercise we'll be trying to move and get some rotation happening, because as I said before, the rotation takes place in order for us to move. We don't walk stiff up here and everything moves, right? So we're going to be doing just some rotational twists. We're going to take the leg up, right? And try to turn the hands in the opposite direction. Because this is how we actually walk. And what you want to do is we want to stretch those obliques. We want to get the hands moving. We want to make sure that every time we walk, our obliques are able, it's not stiff, but it's nice and more in a, more relaxed state and not tight, that is keeping you on your torso is not moving. So what you'll do for this, I'll show you from the side view. From here, lift the leg up and get yourself accustomed with that. And what you may find, some of you all, it might be difficult to lift the leg this high, but that's okay. In the beginning, we just want to make sure that we can get that leg up, and we want to make sure and let the leg that's keeping us standing get accustomed to working on its own. From here, you want to make sure, squeeze the glutes once this leg is coming up to keep and help you with stability of the lower back and also the leg. So you're going to start off with that, because you know sometimes coordination could be a little tricky with some people. So you're going to start there, and I want you to think of the hands, the opposite hand or the opposite elbow is going to be with the knee on the opposite side. That's going to be a marker, okay? So from here we're going to be opposite, 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 opposite. Now when you do the opposite and opposite side every time, I want you to think about trying to reach as far as you can each time you get that rotation. You want to give this at least 10 to 12, let's go 8 to 10 for beginners on each side, and maybe 10 to 12 on persons who are accustomed doing it. I think, guys, from doing these 5 stretches, you'll be in a better place, and also your joints will be able to be in a better place to take you where you want to go on your journey of walking and maybe like jogging. I myself have enjoyed doing, I have this new routine where I'm walking more in the morning time, but I've noticed when I get there, people just jump out their cars and pretty much just start to walk, if not run. We have to remember, guys, that over time, the joints and everything else is going to lose the ability to do what we do naturally, which is walking and running, because of our sedentary lifestyle. This is only a small little snippet of what it is like if we actually take the time to try and work on our joint mobility and do more maintenance on our body and our musculoskeletal system that's responsible for us to move. So guys, thanks for viewing, and if you like this video, please subscribe and like it. And also, guys, please share with me if you have anything that you would like for me to go over, or make sure that I am able to explain. It'll help me to put the content that is more relevant to the persons who are looking on. I really appreciate this, and you know what, when you go walking again, don't forget these little exercises, these little or like a warm-up before you go to walk, and let me know how it goes. I would love to hear from you guys. So thanks for viewing again, and I'll see you on next week. Take care. Bye-bye.